Good afternoon and welcome everyone. November the 17th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon here on the East Coast of the United States. And I just got off the phone with Ukraine 15 minutes ago. I was speaking with my friends and my partners there in Slavyansk right now. And I have the latest information on the strikes that happened inside Ukraine this morning. I was up late last night chatting in Discord with a lot of our guys there, and I had put out the information that there was potentially a big attack coming, and we were accurate on that. If you guys haven't joined our Discord, please consider doing so. I like to be in there chatting, and it is not a toxic Discord. We don't allow that. It's a family atmosphere. We know we come from different backgrounds, and it is growing, and it's a good place to learn and to grow together, not only about Ukraine, but about life. So please, a lot of stuff I put in there is way before it ever gets to YouTube and as it is happening inside Ukraine. So consider that. Now, let's get to it. This is a facts only video, and I want you to understand exactly what happened. I have confirmed all of this with Ukraine within the last 30 minutes. So facts. Mass air attack on Ukraine happened this morning. And it's been 73 days since Russia attacked Ukraine in this manner with this many airplanes. Ukraine was struck. There were 210 units in the air, including UAVs, as they call them, Shaheeds, and also missiles. We'll talk about that specifically in just a moment. You can see the graphic on the bottom right from November the 17th. That was the noon update. So it's been 73 days since Ukraine has been attacked at that level. And in this attack, Russia used 31 bombers. 31. A majority of those were Tupolev 95s and some MiGs that were able to launch these missiles. On the left, 144 out of 210 attack units were eliminated. 102 out of 120 missiles. We're very thankful for that. 18 did strike their targets. We'll talk about those in a minute. 42 out of 90 UAVs were taken out. Shaheeds, 68.5% is the number that Ukraine was able to take out of the air. Now, here's some good news in the middle of all this, and there really is no good news because we've lost some lives today and some critical infrastructure has been severely damaged. Don't believe anything you're seeing out there. Oh, it didn't happen. Ukraine escaped and there was no damage. Baloney, guys. I'm telling you right now, here are the facts only. So on some good news, though, 1 out of 1 Zircon missiles were taken out. The KH-101s or the KH-55s or the X, Ukraine still struggles with those. 85 out of 101. Those are the caliber missiles. 5 out of 5 of the X-59s or 69s were taken out. 4 out of 4 of the X-22s and 0 out of 1 of the Iskanders were taken out, and 7 of the 8 daggers, the Kinjals, were taken out. I have been less than a kilometer from a strike of an Iskander earlier in the war, and I can tell you unbelievable power that comes with an Iskander, and one of those did strike today. So 73 days between mass air attacks of this nature, and of course, Ukraine has been under the assault of Russian Shaheeds and Iranian Shaheeds nonstop, daily. There's only been one day in the last 90 days or so that a Shaheed has not flown. They're nonstop, guys. And now, of course, different topic. We're not going to talk about it, but the introduction of North Korea ramping up their UAV business is just not good, not only for Ukraine, but not for the world as well. So there are the facts on the actual strike. Let me give you some more information. Here is a map. I want to start in the upper left, and this is an ugly map. These are the places where strikes took place and where damage happened. I want to begin on the upper left of the map. You see, I have represented it with explosions there. The upper left is the Volyn region. That is in the northwest pocket of Ukraine, bordering Poland and Belarus. Strikes on critical infrastructure there. Below that, Rivne was hit. Strikes on critical infrastructure. Basically, guys, it was an energy infrastructure attack. I don't want to keep repeating that. It'll become monotonous on the video you're watching, but each of these locations you're seeing is critical infrastructure, electrical substations, thermal plants, oil depots, rail depots. So just keep that in mind as I go through the cities. Once again, beginning in the upper left, that's the Volyn region, then come down to Rivne. On the far left is Lviv, and below that is Ivano-Frankivsk. To the right is Vinica, and then up from that, you see the city and the capital of Kyiv. Coming over to the right, the topmost image there with the explosion is Poltava. Below that, I have circled in red, and I will come back to that in just a moment, is Zaporizhia. And to the left is Kryvyi Rih. Kryvyi Rih, of course, being the home city of Vladimir Zelensky. Then you come down to Mykolaiv and Odessa. All of these places were struck. Now, what you see is interesting is what was not struck. Sumy, Kharkiv, any of the frontline cities there where the battle is raging, and even down south, those were not the targets. They were working on infrastructure. Kharkiv is already struggling with critical infrastructure, so that was bypassed. It is struck every day with S-300s and drones. So Kharkiv is always under assault. But this mass attack, these are the cities, and yes, a lot of damage took place. I have circled there for you Kryvyi Rih and Zaporizhia because this is a quote. The Kryvyi Rih and Zaporizhia regions took devastating damage. Devastating damage. There were rail workers killed. There were electrical plant workers killed. There were people killed at substations. There were people wounded. There were residential buildings damaged. Of course, guys, when these missiles hit, it will put a damage radius in field out for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meters. If it lands in a residential area where the critical infrastructure was, it can take out thousands of windows. And yes, we are November the 17th entering into the wintertime. So it's key that you remember that. Now let's continue on with the facts. Here are the facts, no matter what you see anywhere else, and confirmed within the last 30 minutes. Only 2 out of 9 of Ukraine's nuclear reactors are operating at 100%. 7 are not operating at 100%. Are they operating? Yes. But 2 out of 9 are not operating. Only 2 are working at 100%. 7 are not. Power was reduced at the 7. That's what I was intending to say in my mind there. And mandatory blackouts for repair 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. All of that information coming from Ukrenergo, the Ukrainian energy company. So guys, it is a fact. Power is struggling. Now, in addition to that, prior to this attack, Ukraine was already struggling with thermal power plants, and they were actually having to take apart some thermal power plants in very dangerous frontline areas over in the Dnipropetrovsk region, the Donetsk region, and the Kharkiv region to salvage parts to repair thermal plants back off of the front line some. So guys, this is a critical strike on Ukraine. Let's continue with the facts. Here is a statement from Donald Tusk. This, if you do not know, Donald Tusk is the Prime Minister of Poland. Guys, yesterday I shared on the Facts Only video Zelensky giving his opinion on talking with Putin. Specific reference to Olaf Scholz making a phone call. It was a huge mistake. You cannot negotiate with a terrorist. You cannot reason with a madman. You do not count cards with a dictator. They must be defeated. So Donald Tusk comes out, and of course he knows this is a great statement confirming what Zelensky said. No one will stop Putin with phone calls. Who do you think that is directed to? Olaf Scholz. No one will stop Putin with phone calls. The attack last night, one of the biggest in this war, has proved that telephone diplomacy cannot replace real support from the whole West for Ukraine. Reference there, Europe and the United States. The next weeks will be decisive, not only for the war itself, but also for that's the Prime Minister of Poland, our future. No one will stop Putin with phone calls. Guys, this is the result of Scholz's call. This is the result of any other types of calls that have tried to take place between other nations, United States included. It doesn't work. It will not work. I remind you again, as I'm closing out this Facts Only video today, that Vladimir Putin is all in. Xi Jinping is all in. We have confirmation now of Chinese weapons going to Russia. Kim Jong-un is all in. Iran is all in. And guys, it will not change. These guys are dictators and terrorists. They're not worried about what their nation looks like in 20 years. They're worried about the legacy they're going to live. Donald Tusk calling it like it is. Now, I have one final thing I will share with you right now, and that is analysis from Andriy Kovalenko, giving him credit here. Ukraine, what is next? Direct statement from military analyst Andriy Kovalenko. Russia can attack Ukraine weekly at this level up to 8 more times. Think about that for a moment. The same attack that we experienced today, Russia can attack up to 8 more times that size. That is why they've been holding, they've been manufacturing. You know, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to tell you the truth on the Facts Only video. Why was Russia not attacking in September and October this way? Easy. Why not? Because the cold is now arriving, and it will be much more difficult for Ukraine to repair. And if these strikes begin to happen a little bit more regularly, the deficit will be very difficult to overcome. In addition to that, Russia has gobbled up a lot of ground, especially in the Pokrovsk region, the Kupiansk region, the battles that are raging in the Kursk region there on Russian territory. It's logical that the strikes took place. I hate it, but we knew it was coming. Zelensky knew it was coming. I had been sharing for the last week or so that Russia's been putting these planes in the air, They mock the attacks. They map out the attacks, and then they bring it. Unfortunately, it's coming on the heels of the Schultz call. It's coming on the heels of the world coming to terms. Donald J. Trump will be the president of the United States. I think that there is still great possibility that this can be a net positive for Ukraine. I completely agree with Volodymyr Zelensky, who made that same statement, but we shall see. Regardless, we stand strong for Ukraine. Thank you for being here on this Facts Only video today. This is what has happened. It is confirmed up to the latest, to the last 30 minutes in my conversations with Ukraine. As always, thank you for being here. I'll give you this.
Slava Ukraini.
Oh, you know, what a bad guy when he has the volume down. One more time.
Slava Ukraini.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for subbing, for liking, commenting, sharing. We're doing our best. You guys are overwhelming me and continue to do so with the kind messages that we love the Facts Only, Greg. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And listen, on the lives that we do, and they'll be back next week, we can hypothesize, we can converse, we can answer questions, we can do all of that. But guys, these are the facts. And this is what has happened in this attack in Ukraine this morning. Thank you for being here. And finally, huge shout out to my mods. I got the best team on the planet. You guys are beast mode. Be blessed, guys. We'll be back later.